How do I say? How do I add more enthusiasm without sounding like a YouTuber? Okay, I'm excited. All right. Fuck, I'm not excited. Welcome back to the Atlas Tuning Performance YouTube channel, everybody. Today we're going to be discussing our build series we're doing on this 2020 White Edition STI.
Industrial, strange, and any chemical. We're taking approaches to undo it all. The narrative pushed is always safe and sound. They're feeding us lies and we just choke it down.
This thing had a catastrophic engine failure. Our customer Jay decided he did not want to be slow anymore. I need to tear it down to actually figure out exactly what was going on, but it's locked up. That doesn't really matter because we're replacing the engine and replacing everything that is slow and making it fast. This is probably gonna be the next YouTube video we're gonna shoot. I'd be a horrible actor. I can't even remember shit. We're gonna run through all the parts of the Atlas Tuning 500 package. With Subarus, we have a lot of engine failures related to the short block. 90% of the time we're dealing with ringland failure, rod bearing failure, oil starvation issues causing the engine to lock up, which is in this car's case. So the first thing we always like to start with is a proper built short block. So right now, with the Atlas 500 package, we don't go overkill by any means. This is a Outfit Motorsports grocery getter, forged pistons, forged rods, still an open deck case. With the head setup, we also go very basic. We'll learn a little bit more about the camshaft selection after I talk about these heads a little bit, but we have a full factory set of W25 heads, and we also have GSC factory size valves, and we have GSC springs and retainers. That is all we are doing with the heads. Nothing crazy there. Moving on to the turbo setup. This is the bread and butter of the Atlas 500 package, the BCP 500R. This is probably the most badass stock location turbo you can buy on the market today. We use the crap out of these. They are phenomenal. They make great power. Going back to the heads a little bit, the reason why we're going to be running factory camshafts in these heads, these turbos like it a lot. According to BCP, they also recommend using a factory camshaft. It helps us spool time, top end power, everything we need to know there. Holding this engine together, we have a set of new age 625 ARP head studs. Keep those heads on when cylinder pressure gets high. Everything else is just kind of supporting mods. So we have a PLM external wastegate up pipe with a TurboSmart 45 mil external wastegate. This customer is more looking for a street car. We're not upgrading the oil pan on this car. We're keeping the factory pan. We are doing a Killer B pickup and baffle. Fuel system, we're doing a full fuel system with TAGV deletes, Aeromotive fuel pressure regulator, simple torque solutions fuel rails, and we're still waiting on a few parts. I believe we're waiting on a set of FIC 1440 injectors. We're also doing a radium fuel pump hanger in the car. We're starting to run out of fuel. We like to make a little bit more power than a AEM 340, say that something that's a factory drop into the factory fuel tank will handle. So we like to upgrade the fuel pump hanger and put a slightly larger pump in it. I believe we're just doing a single pump in this car just because it's not really worth doing a dual pump setup and a Hobbs switch on this car yet. But other than that, we just have a lot of supporting mods. This car did experience, since like I said, locked up, we are replacing everything that oil touches with this car. If you were, for example, to bring your car to us before we experience catastrophic engine failure, we do not have to replace everything that oil touches. We obviously need to inspect everything thoroughly, but it does save you a lot of money to not bring us a grenaded Subaru to begin with. because we don't have to go through and spend quite as much money on all brand new factory parts. Obviously running a parent turbo inlet, stuff like that, very simple. We like to run a comp stage 3 segmented disc clutch. They're capable of holding the power that we're going to be making in this car without going to something like a twin disc setup. It's a little bit cheaper, also a little bit more streetable. But yeah, we use that. We use a stage 3 segmented disc comp clutch with a factory OEM flywheel. I feel like that's the best combo for streetability and something that's going to handle the power that we're trying to throw at it. We are waiting on some parts too. I can't forget about those. This customer did opt for a process. Actually, no, we're doing a Corsa Veloce intake manifold. A little bit more show, not a necessary setup for the power we're going for, but it does look really cool in the engine bay. So we are doing that. We are still waiting on the intake manifold. We're still waiting on some injectors, and just a few little doodads here and there. But this is the bulk of what we're dealing with.
He said the keys are on me, are they? And I literally grabbed his butt cheek and I said, I don't think so. What the fuck?
You just take your sip. Put it back. It's called the tax man. So there's always a lot of confusion on how to install ARP head studs. The first thing I'm going to tell you is they come with an installation instruction sheet. This is what it looks like. And what we always seem to, I see a lot of arguments online, stuff like that, on when and where to lubricate your head stud components, whether it's your actual head stud itself, your head stud washer, and your head stud nut. Obviously, we can read through instructions, but what you want to do is make sure, starting from square one, I always start with putting the head studs in the engine first. It makes it easier for me to line the head up. You don't have to do that, but you want to make sure your threads in your block are clean. So blowing it out with an air gun, sometimes using some brake clean always helps, and then blowing them out. Make sure they're clean and dry, and we are going to run the head studs into the block dry. With finger tight, I usually make sure they're snugged up a little bit just to make sure we're all level, everything's bottomed out properly. Next step, you're obviously want to slide your cylinder head on with the head gasket. You need to make sure the mating surface on the head is clean, and also you'll want to wipe off all the shipping oil on the ARP washers as well. Those do not need any ARP grease either. We're going to throw those washers on, and then we're going to only lubricate the threads of the stud, and we're also going to lubricate the base of the head stud nut. That's all you need to do. Some people are saying you want to lubricate the studs going to the block. Some engines are different. I'm just explaining what you want to do with a Subaru. And there's a lot of miscommunication or confusion around that. First thing you're going to want to do is, no matter what engine you're doing, some ARP torquing specifications are different per engine. You're going to want to read through your instructions and figure out exactly what you need to do. That'll tell you everything you need to know. But I just kind of wanted to clear up some confusion that some people have with installing these. And I'm going to get the rest of the nuts thrown on, and we're going to run through the torque spec. What's up, guys? We're back with the Atlas 500 build right now. Just want to give you guys a little quick update. We got the heads on. Heads are valve latches set. Everything's torqued down, ready to go. Timing set's on. We got a brand new OEM timing set with the Gates race belt. Also have the boost control performance 500R turbo bolted on. The customer did have PLM equal length headers on the car previously. We did do, we installed those modifications about 1.5 years ago previously. So we're reusing those, obviously. Great set of headers. We did install a brand new 45mm external wastegate. It's all bolted up. Everything's still loose just because we got to make sure everything's lined up when it goes back in the car. But as of right now, everything's mocked up, and we will be back with some updates when I start getting the intake manifold thrown together and fuel system put together, and this engine should be ready to go back in the car here pretty soon. finishing out the build series on Jay's White Edition STI that received the Atlas Tuning 500 package. The car turned out great. We made fantastic power with about 415 wheel horsepower and 91 octane and about 620 wheel horsepower in ethanol. We'll post up the dyno sheets as well. I'm assuming you guys have already watched the dyno montage that's probably going in before this. But Jay is on his way to pick up the car, and we're really excited to see how he likes it.